Deep in the wildlands of Ghur, a new breed of Orruks lurk in the shadows, always looking to take their enemy by surprise and willing to take any advantage. When the Idoneth Deepkin cross into their territory and search for souls, the devious Orruks are quick to plan an attack, but they are not the only ones looking to spring an ambush. With the savagery of the Idoneth and their blood-frenzied mounts, the Kruleboyz may have met their match on the battlefield. As their foe draws near, will the dirty tricks and traps of the Kruleboyz be enough to give them the upper hand? Or will the speed of the Deepkin allow them to strike the lethal blow?
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Tonight we have another exciting game of Age of Sigmar. Matt, you're back on the channel with another new army, another first time for the channel army. Here tonight with the Kruleboyz.
That's right, yeah, I'm the debut guy. I'm just bringing the new armies in,
yeah,
so.
Just try to keep it coming, we got a long list.
Well, next, yeah, just let me know. I'll buy it, so.
No, we definitely want to get you back with your Soul Blight and, well, any army really,
yep.
But obviously great to see Kruleboyz on the table. This is my first time actually playing against them. Heard a lot about them, but obviously seeing them in action is always something different.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and I haven't played too many games with them, but and I definitely haven't played against Deepkin, but
yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup here for us tonight.
I mean, you're definitely going to be the aggressor, and I'm just going to be the castle, but it's okay.
Yeah, we shall see. But diving right into things, just want to give a quick shout out to Printable Scenery, where we get and print all our terrain from, download their digital files, and then obviously 3D print it ourselves. And then I always want to mention X Planet, our local game store. Always picking up models from there, working on, just bought a bunch of Soulblight stuff myself over there, a bunch of Blood Knights, all the new Stormcast stuff. We're filming this a couple of days before the Dragons all go on pre-order,
yeah.
So that'll be an interesting time. Definitely want to get those on the table and showcase what they can do on the channel, so everybody can learn and prepare, because they'll be filthy.
Well, they'll be filthy and they'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think everybody and their mother has Stormcast somewhere kicking around,
Yeah.
so it'd be a reason to buy them. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. But anyways, looking at this match tonight, we're playing Savage Spearhead. So this is like the old Battle for the Pass or Border War. 4 objectives in a diamond kind of positioning. The ones in each of our own zones are worth 1 for us. Our enemies is worth 4. And each of these are worth 2. So 4 if you hold them both. Mm-hmm. And then the normal battle tactics, grand strategy for scoring. But why don't we jump into lists? Matt, do you want to take us through yours first?
Sure. So as you're probably going to see with most Kruleboyz, I'm running Big Yellows, which is the shooty one. So it twofold. It lets my my man-skewer bows become battle line, and I also gain 3 inches for my shots, which is good, especially when I'm fishing for those mortals and I have those either 27 inch or 15 inch. So I'm running not a lot. I mean, it's a pretty elite army. I don't have any Hobgrots, but that's okay. So I'm running a block of 20 gut rippers with spears, and I'm running a block of 10 gut rippers with spears. And then moving on to my shooting, I'm running a block of 9 man-skewer bows, and then a block of 6 man-skewer bows. So for my heroes, I'm running, as my general, I'm running the Breaker Boss on the Vulture. As you do, I mean, he's just a beast. He's got the general trait that allows me to redeploy a unit in my army anywhere on the board outside of 9. And then I'm running the Sludge Raker over here, which is the aura of 6s to mortal wounds, give me an extra mortal wounds. So again, just kind of layering on the mortal wounds, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he is a beast in close combat. So then I'm also running 2 shamans. One of them will have Nasty Hex, which shuts off your ward save, which you don't have, which is fine. But I mean, it's always good if you're running this army.
Mine are already shut off.
Yeah, well, hey, I'll never have to cast it now, so that's good. And you don't have Amulet of Destiny, so I can't even shut that thing off, which everyone takes it. But again, it's always really good to have if you're thinking about running this into a tournament.
For sure.
Because Amulet of Destiny is so predominant. Yeah. So my second shaman, he has the Choking Mist ability, which I pick a point within 24 of the caster, and then units within 6 of that point suffer from -1 to their attack characteristic until the next hero phase.
Yep.
it's all about fishing for the mortals and hoping.
You love sixes in this army.
Yeah, I do. It's still a very castle army. It's something that I'm not used to playing, but might as well get used to it because I'm having a lot of fun with them. So
nice, awesome. Well, hopefully tonight I'll be able to break open that castle because I'm running Deepkin. Obviously, with this build, you'll see different builds, but with this one, I don't have a lot of shooting, so I really want to get in there, force the issue, start chewing and stabbing stuff up real good. This is pretty much like a classic AOS 2 Deepkin list. Some slight modifications, a couple bigger units. But starting off, I have the Italian Queen as my general with the mount trait for the -1 to hit, the artifact Cloud of Midnight to be untargetable once per battle at the beginning of any phase, and then the general trait for +2 wounds. All pretty standard stuff.
Yep.
But that also makes my Eels all battle line, which I have 2 units of defensive Ishlayan Guard and 2 units of 6 actually Morsar Guard. So those are a little obviously beefier. Reinforce those guys. So that's a lot of where my punch is. And then I have a single shark, which has the net launcher to stop you from piling in. And the turtle, who's obviously just a big boy, big tanky boy, has some shooting and just all around solid.
Yeah, I knew I should have brought my beast skewer bow, but that's okay.
And notably, I do also have a Soul Scryer as my only other hero here, which is allowing me to deep strike those 2 units I have off the board. And then for sub-faction, I am in Domhain tonight, so that gives me reroll 1s to hit on the charge, and reroll all wounds against monsters, which you have a couple here, so hopefully I can leverage that a little bit.
Yup.
But I was all wrapped up in a 1-drop Battle Regiment battalion because I can, so why not?
Yeah, and I was a 2-drop.
Oh, so that does come up pretty big.
Yeah.
I obviously, here I dropped everything first. But yeah, that means I have choice.
You do have choice.
And in that case, Matt, I think I'm going to give you first turn.
All right.
So with that, we'll be jumping into Kruleboyz, turn 1.
The Kruleboyz use lethal surprise and create 3 traps on the battlefield. The Kruleboyz battle tactic is ferocious advance. The Killer Boss uses heroic leadership. The Swamp Color Shaman uses an elixir from the Gut Rippers. The other shaman casts Choking Mists. The Kruleboyz end their turn controlling only 1 objective, but achieve their battle tactic and score 3 points.
All right. Not a very eventful turn for Castle Army, but just moved up, secured my 1 point, got my ferocious advance. I ran my gut rippers and my vulture up. Just kept them within 3, and then positioned to hopefully weather the storm that is about to come down on me.
Yep, and I didn't even realize how limited the range was, and with you don't get the longer range shot if you move, so that actually was a huge benefit of giving you first here. Getting to avoid that. Yeah,
as much as even though I get the extra range, regardless, I did have to move them because I needed to get them in a better position. I think, and but I got my I chose the sneaky.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I chose that, and lethal surprise is the one that I chose. So I picked secretly. I picked 3 objectives or terrain features, and when you end within an inch of it, you end a movement within. You take on a 2-up, you take D6 mortal wounds.
Yep, pretty scary.
I mean, hopefully it's going to deter you from going where I don't want you to go, but I mean, you don't know where I'm telling you to not go.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I got lucky on that. I rolled 4 pluses, and I got to pick 3. So I've at least got something for you
Couple
to
tricks
worry.
out there for
Something
me.
for you to worry about. Yeah,
Yep,
that's the
for
sneaky
sure.
things about the Swamp Boys. They've got that in there.
Definitely.
Yep.
Cool. Well, with that, you store, as you said, your battle tactic. You hold your home objective, so 3 points. And we're going to jump into Deepkin turn 1.
Cool.
The Deepkin battle tactic is aggressive expansion. The Killaboss fails heroic leadership. The Soul Scryer, Achillean King, and Morsar Guard deep strike using Finder of Ways. The Leviathan shoots at the Bolt Boys, dealing 3 damage. The Alopex uses all-out attack and hits with the net, but deals no damage. The Soul Scryer uses Seeker of Souls on the Gut Rippas. The Achillean King uses the Cloud of Midnight at the start of the charge phase. The Achillean King uses Forward to Victory but fails their charge. The Bolt Boys use Unleash Hell and kill the Alopex. The other 6 Morsar Guard and Leviathan fail their charge. That sucks. The Morsar Guard unleashes their Biovolcanic Blast, dealing 3 mortal wounds to the Gut Rippas. The Gut Rippas use all-out defense. The Morsar Guard use all-out attack and Inspired Triumph, dealing 16 damage to the Gut Rippas. The Gut Rippas attack, dealing 4 damage to the Morsar Guard. The Morsar Guard and Gut Rippas both use Inspiring Presence. The Idoneth control 3 objectives and achieve their battle tactic to score 7 points.
All right, so Deepkin turn 1. So was pretty much hoping to, force you to move forward as you had to and open up some avenues to get into you. But because you actually packed so tight, it was difficult for me to get in where I wanted to. With the Soul Strider giving me the plus 3 inches to charge, I have to choose obviously 1 unit to charge against.
Yep.
And all of my units have to end the charge there. And because of that, and because of how far out you were, I chose your Gut Rippers in front so that my units in front would also benefit and be able to get in there. The downside was because of where your Shaman was positioned, it actually meant my Achillean King had a 10-inch charge, which then I was looking for 7 on the dice. And the Eels had probably like an 11. Again, looking for 8 on the dice. Eels natively reroll. I used all the command point on the Achillean Queen. None of them made their charges, so I rolled I think I rolled 4 6s in a row.
4 or 5 6s in a row, yeah.
Yeah, so those didn't get in, which hurt because I was, hopefully, the whole idea was using my Achillean Queen actually, use the Cloud of Midnight artifact so that they could negate your Overwatch, Unleash Hell. But obviously didn't as soon as I didn't make the charge. So I did charge the Sharkin first and you unleashed Hell on him, and boy did you. He quickly got evaporated through mortal wounds.
9
mortals.
9,
yeah, so that was pretty spicy. And then because you did Unleash Hell there, I then decided to try a couple other charges, getting my Morsar in, but failing with the turtle. And the Morsar actually did a good amount of work, just trying to rip and tear through stuff. Stuck in combat now, which isn't ideal. They already spent their shock because I was expecting to lose models. And if you win priority, I would be losing them in the shooting phase. So by the time I got to another combat, it would be too late. So it's a interesting position here.
Yeah, the bonus of having the kill a boss within 3 of these guys is, like, regardless of me, I was able to spend my command points to keep some alive, all out defense and unleash hell. But because they're within 3 of him, I really didn't care about having that command point because only one will run regardless of you losing the battle shell.
And that was actually big because the all-out defense put you on 6 resist to save after my 2 rend. You made 3 of those, which again at 2 damage each. Means that's 3 dies that you saved there. So.
Yeah, like a lot died, but I mean they're still there with. So I mean I'm looking at what am I at? Like 20 wounds still there.
Yeah,
so.
oh for sure, lots. So, and with me not getting in, I didn't get into your bows or your shaman or anything. So kind of just sitting there hoping. But that's all there is really to say. Though I did choose aggressive expansion. So I take both these objectives, tagging this one. I take this one as well. I just wanted to jump on and score early. If you do win priority, I'd rather, again, try and jump to a lead and see if I can hold on to it.
I mean, that's the best call with this army. That I don't have the movement, so just bog me down. No pun intended.
But we'll jump into priority. You're winning ties here. That is a 4, though. That's tough.
5.
5. All right.
The streak of Jordan losing continues. Let's go.
Well, and with that, I'm sure you're taking the turn.
I have to, yeah.
So we will jump into Kruleboyz turn 2.
The Kruleboyz battle tactic is broken ranks, targeting the Morsar Guard. The kill a boss fails heroic leadership, which the Achillean king succeeds at. The shamans give poison to the gut rippers and bolt boys. The 6 bolt boys deal 3 mortal wounds to the Ishlian Guard. The 9 bolt boys deal 14 damage to the Morsar Guard. The kill boss uses Kruleboyz Wa on the 2 units of gut rippers. The Morsar Guard use Olive Defense, but the kill a boss finishes them off. Gotcha! The Gut Rippers deal 7 damage to the Ishlian Guard. The Ishlian fights back, dealing 4 damage to the Gut Rippers. The Kruleboyz hold 2 objectives and achieve their battle tactic with a monster, scoring 6 points.
That was a turn.
Solid.
Solid turn. So I picked kill a battle line, gambled it, taking out the 5, but I mean I had enough there to do it. Didn't get enough shots over here into your defensive heals, or enough mortals, I should say. I was very close to killing them off, but
took 2 out of 3. So, and you take the objective there, which is the important part.
Yeah, I mean it was still big. I mean it was a big point grab for me. I got 9 points this round.
6 this round.
Yep, I got 6 this round. You're right. 9 total. But the shooting proved pretty valuable over here.
Oh yeah.
I didn't leave very many eels for the vulture to finish off.
But it made it easy for him, and you got that bonus point. Which,
yeah. I mean, you can never go wrong with getting the bonus point. I did use my big wad just in case I whiffed, because I mean it is a dice game. You never know. So I used my Kruleboyz Wa, which allows me to, when my general fights, I pick 2 other Kruleboyz units wholly within 18 to fight one after another. Didn't have to use it over here, but it was big over here because I had used venom on these guys. So 5s were mortal wounds.
And 1 eel took out 2, so if I had 3 eels and was attacking you first there, it's potentially 6 dies drawn.
Exactly, and I feel like that would have been, I don't know, I can't read your mind, but I mean, that's still a big deal.
That's the next activation.
Yeah, that would have been the next activation, because very realistically, you would have crippled that unit to the point where you probably would have held that point still. So, positioned as best as I could to get in the way, which I really only had my shaman to do for over here, because a world of hurt's about to come over this way. But neither of us have a lot of bodies on the table to
Very true, very true. And I've already lost almost 2 full units of eels. 8 total gone, and my shark gone. All really hurts a lot. So why did I get in and start chewing you up?
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen right now.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, we'll see. Just jumping right into it, going into Deepkin turn 2.
The Deepkin battle tactic is broken ranks, targeting the Bolt Boys. The Achillean King fails heroic leadership, which the Kruleboyz succeeds at. The Soul Scryer chants for Bless on the Morsar Guard. The Ishlian Guard triggers a lethal surprise, taking 2 mortal wounds. The Leviathan shoots at the Bolt Boys, dealing 3 damage. The Soul Scryer shoots at the other Bolt Boys, killing 1. The Soul Scryer uses Seeker of Souls on the Bolt Boys. The Bolt Boys use Unleash Hell, killing the Ishlian Guard. The Leviathan deals 1 mortal wound on impact. The Morsar Guard unleash their biovoltaic blast into the Gut Rippas, dealing 7 mortal wounds. The Morsar Guard use all-out attack, killing the Bolt Boys and dealing 5 damage to the Gut Rippas. The Gut Rippas deal 7 mortal wounds to the Leviathan. Ooh, that's rough. The Leviathan deals 12 damage to the Gut Rippas. The Gut Rippas deal 7 damage to the Morsar Guard. The Achillean King finishes off the Gut Rippas. The Shaman attacks and deals 10 damage to the Morsar Guard. How? The Idoneth control all 4 objectives and achieve their battle tactics, scoring 11 points.
All right, so Deepkin turn 2. Man, this is a brutal game. We've had a lot of them recently on the channel, it feels like.
it's been very bloody on both sides.
Yeah, very volatile. So pretty much at this point, I obviously just have to take out your shooting, really trying to kill everything, as we saw. You do so much mortals that I can't afford to get hit, which...
Yeah, so yeah, like coming in, mortals just wiped out your defensive eels, which is, it's really the only, not the only way, but I mean, it's the way for me to kill those out.
Get through the ethereal. And here I did have to sacrifice a unit of 3 to eat the Unleash Hell, because I had used my Cloud of Midnight but not made it in the previous turn. Kind of meant I just, again, had to use a unit to eat it. So I did that with the defensive eels. The Morsar cleaned up your shooting guys and actually did a bunch of damage also with their biovoltaic blast to the Gut Rippas, which the Achillean King then just went in and cleaned up the last few. And over here you did 7 mortals or 6 mortals or whatever, 7 damage total to the turtle, not bracketed thankfully, and then the turtle bit back, killing a bunch of your guys, which means I do take this objective. I was all set to take that objective, and I was like, oh, it's just the shaman. What's the shaman gonna do?
Well,
turns out the shaman did 9 10 damage.
10 damage, yeah. I spiked a couple 6s, and because he's in range over here.
There was bonus damage.
And then
And all your hits, and between the mortals, and then you hit and wounded with everything. I failed all my saves.
I pretty much almost maxed out their damage. Yeah.
You more than maxed out, because also for your 2d3s, you rolled 3s for both of them. And then you got the bonus. So
that shaman was mad. I think he was mad that I just kind of put him there as a screen. And
literally accounted for killing 3 Morsar.
Yeah.
If not 4.
Yeah, and then you triggered my trap over here, but I only rolled a 2
mortals. Yeah.
So he's still kicking, but there's still 2 more traps for you to unleash.
Yes.
Hopefully.
I gotta remember that, because I could have just stayed away from the terrain, but I forgot about it. That's the trick, right?
It is a lethal surprise. Well, half lethal surprise, but.
And otherwise, again, don't take that objective, which would have been awesome just story-wise, but I do get my battle tactic of broken ranks, killing your bolt boys.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 points there, bring me up to 7 total for the round, obviously 2 for each of the middle and 1 for my own, for 5 for the primary. So 7 total is obviously good. Again, trying to build a lead at this rate. Yeah, it's gonna be
a rough turn for either of us.
Yeah, it's gonna be very dicey. And with that, we can again let the fates decide. That's a 4 again.
That's a 6.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm taking that.
Sounds good. So we'll jump into Kruleboyz turn 3.
The Kruleboyz battle tactic is Conquer. The Swamp Color Shaman uses poison on the Bolt Boys. The other shaman casts Choking Mists. The Bolt Boys finish off the Ishlian Guard. The Sledge Raker stomps the Achillean King, dealing 2 mortal wounds. The Leviathan stomps the Gut Rippas, dealing 1 mortal wound. The Sledge Raker uses all-out defense. The Morsar Guard use all-out attack but deal no damage. The Achillean King deals 2 damage to the Sledge Raker. The Leviathan finishes off the Gut Rippas. The Achillean King uses all-out defense, but the Sledge Raker deals 10 mortal wounds and finishes him off. The Kruleboyz control 2 objectives and achieve their battle tactic, scoring 7 points.
All right. Well, I survived for the most part. You're attacking me first.
Yep.
I mean, they weren't long for the world, regardless of what they did. So that's okay. I mean, I could have retreated them out, but they wouldn't have done much anyways. Shots-wise, they shot into your defensive yield.
Did the mortals
as they do.
Yep.
You did 2 damage to my bro here, which doesn't bracket him, but he swung back into your Achillean King, and I didn't. I didn't
did
finish
the mortals,
my,
even with finest hour, and I did all out defense, so I was on a 1-up save or 2-up ignoring round 1. Didn't matter because it was all mortals.
That's right.
Well, you did it with just enough with mortals alone.
Yep. And then I successfully got off the -1 to attack, which is actually really good because I am able to.
Because they're he's got 3 attacks going down to 2s. Now the Morsar aren't doing much right now because they're not on the charge, but there's still 2 attacks going down to 1.
Yep. I really could have flown my vulture into your turtle, but I really wanted to start maximizing on the points that I could. So he was the only one with the speed to fly back there and take it and get me the 4 points, which at this point in the game, I think that's way bigger than
it's quite huge
than killing your turtle, which
sure.
I'll try to chase him down if I can. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But across the board, not much left on the table for either of us, really. I mean,
no, but more for you right now, and scoring's gonna be tough. I chose not to burn an objective just to try and stretch you. In the end, I knew there was the risk that it would mean you have more potential to score later in the game. But I was hoping that my Achillean King would survive, which maybe was a little too optimistic.
there's far too many mortals with this army, I think. And as I said before, this is one of the few mounts in the army that benefits from having venom-encrusted weapons. So that's a big deal if you spike one of them.
Oh yeah.
Because he buffs himself. So I mean, that's four straight mortals, 3 straight mortals. So.
Yeah. Yeah, they were solid, and exactly got that through. He had 7 left at the time, so not enough.
No, could have split some attacks into these guys, but
not worth the risk.
Not worth the risk. No, I mean, like I'm still mortaling on 6s, so
yeah. Cool. Well, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
So we will jump into it with Deepkin turn 3.
The Deepkin battle tactic is Conquer. The Soulscryer chants for heal, healing 1 wound to the Morsar Guard. The Leviathan shoots at the Bolt Boys, dealing 3 damage. The Leviathan and Sledgeraker roar at each other. Ooh, scary. The Leviathan deals 8 damage to the Sledgeraker. The Morsar Guard deals 2 damage to the Sledgeraker, who survives with 2 wounds remaining. That's honestly better than 1 wound for your sake. The Sledgeraker deals 10 mortal wounds and slays the Leviathan.
Alright, Deepkin turn 3 was painful, but not entirely unexpected.
yeah.
Basically, if I wanted to maximize points in a tournament setting, I could have done Monstrous Takeover, sat back here, throw a unit over here to like try and dance around for objectives. But that's kind of boring. So I tried to score big, but less reliably. Went for Conquer. I actually was 2 wounds away from killing the Sledgeraker, which would have not only scored me a bonus point, but 5 points or 4 points for your home objective would have been, and my battle tactic was Conquer there.
That's right.
So I don't score any of that, but it was potentially going to be 7 points if I do 2 more wounds there. So
it was a big play with what was left on the table.
It was a gamble, but I went for it. Could have been big. It was not. But 7 points would have been huge because I also get 4 for these. So I could have scored 11 on the turn, which is an insane amount. Mm-hmm. Instead, I just score 4, which pretty much is not a good spot to be in. Obviously, with what's still on the board.
Yeah. And it also gave me a point for killing a monster.
It sure did.
Yeah, the Sledgeraker lived with 2 wounds, but
and then killed the turtle.
And then killed the turtle again.
10 mortal wounds.
I mean, if you spike mortal wounds with these guys, especially himself because he's buffing himself.
Yeah. Oh, it's not. It's
pretty
solid.
Nasty. It's pretty nasty.
Output, for
so,
sure.
Not much left on the table. Period. So we'll see what.
Yeah, I don't think realistically. I guess let's just roll priority, and then we can probably just talk it out from here.
Yep.
That's a 5.
That's a 6.
That's 6. Okay, you win priority.
Yeah.
So you're gonna obviously just everything's dead at the end of your turn.
Everything's dead at the end of the turn. I'm obviously gonna run it up. I could probably do aggressive expansion if I really wanted to.
Yep.
Run them up.
You already have this
over
one.
here, and then.
So you would score max points, which is 9. 9, 10, 11 with a battle tactic. So 11 points for you here in turn 4.
Yep, and
I would not be able to store anything because even if I had 1 model left, the eels will be dead, so no Savage Spearhead or anything there.
No, mortal wounds for this army is
particularly against Deepkin. That's one of their big weaknesses, right? They do have the stacking saves, and obviously the turtle, the killing Kane on a 1, can be on a 1-up reliably. And with my great saves, none of it mattered.
Yeah, I feel the same with Soulblight though, right? I mean,
for sure,
Vordry, as beefy as he is.
Sylvaneth, there's tons of armies that can do save stacking, but save stacking is one piece of the game right now, of the edition. It's the mortal wounds are the other.
It only goes like a 1+ can only go so far when it immediately goes through.
And you don't have great saves by any means, so you're not great at save stacking.
No,
but here against a pure combat army, at least in this build, you were able to the Unleash Hell, killed a shark, killed 3 eels, kept on punishing me, and just
Yeah,
you know,
but he honestly, even his spell did a lot of work. The
That was
minus
very
one
useful. Yeah, that's
attack,
a really good
especially
spell.
here, right? Honestly, I think when that spell went off, that saved his life
yeah. Oh, he could have died there. Yeah, for
very
sure.
well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention, he's got to be up there for all-star vote for this game.
Oh, he's 100% all-star.
He literally killed 3
He killed
eels.
3. He's just an old dude with a little goblin.
Yeah,
But
so.
yeah, I mean, it's just I did spike a lot of my rolls today.
Well, it happens. I mean, yes and no. You get some here and some there. It all, evens out throughout a game.
But the big thing is the mortal wounds based off the damage characteristic,
Oh,
not just one and done or whatever. It's based on the damage characteristic, which is massive for even him, right?
Yes.
I mean, like his spear is 3 damage, so any mortal wounds he does with himself, it's automatically an extra 1. So it's save stacking against mortal wound stacking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and interesting. Obviously, I knew. So again, playing Kruleboyz, I knew they would be doing the mortal wounds, right?
Yep.
Shooting and combat. And obviously, my best chance was just to kill everything, right? Kill everything. Try and W at some point was kind of the play with with Deepkin. Now, I obviously do have like the anti-shooting mechanic, but when you're doing mortal wounds, you're still blasting through my units super fast.
yeah,
Especially with like not being able to negate your unleash hell, and then you're also actually. I was surprised of how much mortals it is in combat. Also, I knew what the shooting did, but hadn't really heard much talk about the combat.
Yeah,
and that was actually probably bigger in this game.
yeah. I mean, like there's the 2 ways of going about it, right? It is. You could go a giant block of gut rippers, like a giant block of 30 of them, and go with the spears because they're 2 attacks each, and 5s and 6s with one of these guys. I mean, it's 61 attacks, 5s regular wounds, 6s are 2 wounds if you're within range of him. So I mean, it's one of those armies that I feel if you reinforce well enough, whatever it touches, it's probably gonna die.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But I think that's pretty much it for us today. Matt, thank you so much for coming down and grabbing the game.
Yep.
It was a pleasure to see the Orruks on the table, despite being on the receiving end of a couple mortal wounds. But it's a great game overall, so thank you again.
No, thanks for having me. As always, it's always super fun. And,
always a blast.
all that matters is you guys like it. So
yes, and I hope you guys did enjoy this match. Don't forget, if you want to check out our premium membership, you get access to an extra battle report every week.
My Soul Blade are on there.
Yes, Matt, with the Soul Blight, hopefully we will have to get you down again sometime soon.
Whenever you want, yeah.
But otherwise, we'll see you guys soon in another battle report.